Hello there. Welcome to the continuation of this series. It's the Unstoppable Force, Lucky Ashman versus the Immovable Object, Russian Blunt. And I've been sent a few games by Lucky Ashman this time, because concerns of some slight biases in the games that I was sent before by Russian Blunt. So he sent me these personally. 3 games or so to go through today, and we're going to start things off here on what looks like the home of Nose, which would be Rivers. Which is, you've got these rivers and a couple of crossings or so. Looks like there's a little bit of food. You've got a couple... Ooh, it's interesting, there's some opportunities for some toxic gameplay here. If you look at where the Rontos have spawned here, sort of all spawned together. I don't think there's any more on around the outskirts. There's 2 dewbacks? So has each player got 2 dewbacks, right? So this, and this is Lucky's, this and this is Blunt's, and then his dewbacks are here and here. But you can see that there's not much distance, and it's pretty favoured in a spawn towards Blunt here as well, I suppose. You could technically, you could sneak, if you scouted this early, you could sneak your worker over and just sort of wall these in. But like people tend to do in like Age of Empires and those like black forest maps. There's like boars that spawn near these like little pathways in between the forests, and people like just go out, they go mental to wall them like as soon as the game starts, and then they grab the boars. But we'll see if it ends up an ethical game. I wonder what on earth is Lucky up to with his start here. So there's tons of lure, and he's got an idle command center at the moment, and look, he's gone mad long distance. I'm not too sure about this decision. I know he's got a few nerfs to work about in the meantime, but this is a long way to walk, and for whatever reason he's gone and made his carbon processor now as well. So Blunt seems to have gone and it looks like he's maybe trying to steal this dewback, but at the same time he's trying to wall as well, which isn't going to work. He's having to run away now. Wonder if he's tilted himself with that. And we can see Lucky Ashman's heading over here to grab the Rontos. He must have just had an absolute nightmare with his scout here, with the way that he's opened up. I think if I take a quick wee look here, Ashman actually ahead in workers, surprisingly. Oh, definitely ahead in workers. Rest in peace, my friend. You can see got both dewbacks lured here for Blunt, but he is actually going to get this wall up, it seems. Meaning Lucky's only going to get one of the Rontos here. That's exactly as we've talked about there. So that's a huge win for Blunt. I know he's down a worker, but like the amount of food he's going to get from the Ronto. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, holy gigabrain. What am I witnessing? Lucky Ashman's a genius. He's like, if I can't have it, you can't have it here. I wonder if it's like, he's not even that clever. He's just like, he's just kind of lured. Because he's not like microing the worker, but I feel like it's like some unintentional greatness. He says it's my Ronto. No, that's not really your Ronto though, is it? If we do the map count here. Unless I'm absolutely blind as a bat, but no. He's going to at least get 35 food for his trip here, I guess. Don't know if it's worth to keep. I mean, you could technically just drop a food processor, I suppose, and then you could get the food from it. I think I would do that. It's too good to pass up. It's just so much food. So Lucky going to start walling himself here. And you could see these as sort of like, you know, it's like a big lead and stuff, but you can still cut corners at home and, you know, negate a little bit of that sense of being behind, just because this isn't going to translate into like a super fast rush usually. At a map like this, you are going to go T3, and there's a lot of time to sort of normalize the game up a bit to that point. Not to say that they couldn't have a very fast T3 and like maybe try and pin you at air or something, but chances are the longer the game goes on, the less these things will mean. there's certainly other sources of food to grab up. He's got the other Jew back here. There could be fishing or something like that as well, I suppose. You could always eat some of the nerfs, but might need to find another food source. I'll have a quick look and we'll just see where they stand in terms of the eco here. So for whatever reason, Blunt's just not done very well with his macro. Ashman just seems to be ahead. Maybe this is just like too much attention's gone to walling here. Because I know one worker's died to the Ronto, but there's a couple of workers behind, and I would have thought he would have the more consistent command center here with how lucky Ashman opened this game. Because this is such a long distance to walk and get some food from the hunt. To then go carbon processor as well. So we're going to see a shipyard and a power core here. And that'll really help out just having like the extra worker production with the utility trawlers. And they can just be completely dedicated to just bringing in food. You can have more workers on the carbon here. It could always be some sort of interesting transport abuse in T2 as well. You could transport some troopers over or something. But Blunt has actually done very well and made sure that he's got his scout on Lucky Ashman's side of the map before he finishes the wall. So you can actually keep an eye on what he's up to here. I like little shorefish here. That's decent. Maybe a little bit oversaturated with 6 workers here. Probably better with 4 because I think they're going to mine this out too quickly. But it's a nice bit of consistent food income here for the Ashman. And you can see he's climbing to that 500 total. The Blunt is going to have the higher tech time here. Probably just because of like the rate of gathering all this food. It looks like he has finished all of his hunt now. Oh, he's still got 1 Jew back. He's just had so much hunt that he can get this Jew back as well. Okay, I think it looks like he's sending these guys over here for a 35 food trip. Does he not know about this Jew back? No, he doesn't. No. It's a shame. It's a 300 food being ignored. And we do see a troop center here. It's interesting. I just hope that there's going to be like a transport built, and they like just drop some mounties round or something like that, or he makes a few troopers and there's a little mini rush here. Russian is T2. Oh, he's got a shipyard as well. It just snuck by me. I was just kind of wondering where all this carbon's going. But he's got this shipyard and power core. A little bit out of the way here. Lucky doesn't really know anything that's going on Russian side because his scout's walled in his own side. He's made the troop centre, but he's not really making anything out of it. Be better to just be his other tech building at this rate. And, you know, both players could just fire out a frigate, start harassing the boats here. Kind of want to fight over who gets to fish in the river here. You can see that Ashman is actually doing a bit of scouting with his trawlers now. He's starting to build these sensors everywhere. So he's going to absolutely see that there's the shipyard, there's the power core here. They know the scoop. And he's instantly queuing up a frigate here. Interesting to see if Blunt's going to make his own. No, he's not. Maybe just focusing on thinking about T3. He's going to build one of his tech buildings here. He's got tons and tons of food from all that hunt that he's had. And these guys are actually idle now. They've actually finished off the Ronto that was here. And that frigate is going to approach Russian Blunt's trawlers here. Now, they kill them fairly fast. A couple more shots and they'll have killed Blunt. And that's going to be 14 food, 15 food. Oh, he does deposit it just in time. That feels good, man. Okay, up to 2 frigates. Not seeing any from Russian here. He's maybe just going to give up on the water. He hasn't really built too many frigate trawlers, so he's not super committed to it. I mean, at this point, if you fell behind this like this in the frigates, it's probably better to just not build them. But he is queuing one up. It'd be best to just focus on his T3 and try and get air out and take control of the game that way. See, Blunt is a third of the way to T3, but Ashman not too far behind him here. A decent setup. He's got his Jedi Temple. Can go off and grab those holocrons. If he wants to queue up a Padawan. I don't think there's any out yet. He's got 2 holocrons on his side of the map. Do I have a power core around here? I imagine maybe going to be a power droid build. Would expect Blunt as, you know, this map being Wookiees and stuff. That's interesting, gonna like build a power core. An airbase. I feel like if you just built 2 air bases and a power droid, you'd save a lot of carbon here, and you'd just get his fighters online, you know, a lot quicker here. And you could build a power core later if you wanted. And some frigates have actually built up over time and just snuck past us here. He's taking a trade. They are low in count though, and these 2 destroyers that Lucky Ashman's made, because he's gone double shipyard here, so he's got double shipyard production, and 1 shipyard's not going to cut it against that. And with the destroyers and the frigates here, he's going to route Blunt back to the shipyard and just kill all of these off. That's going to help kill the sensor tower as well that's spying on him at the moment. Ashman picked up 1 of the holocrons so far. I've got Blunt, who's started building up his air, but Ashman as well, he's got an anti-air turret and he's built up a fighter as well. So it's 1 airbase first, 1 airbase at present, which isn't too volatile a matchup. But Ashman definitely ahead here as we go into sort of the T3 sort of mid game here with all these utility trawlers just serving as extra workers for him. It's kind of a nice river as this, because there's a sort of an objective in the centre here with this Nova. So controlling the water actually has some merit other than just, you know, having the fish and stuff. You get decent sort of range with some cruisers if you went into T4 as well to sort of support a push and stuff. But I really like when there's resources in the centre of a map, because it just gives more reason to occupy it. Just makes things more strategic. That's blown up here. I can't see what happened. I feel like some fighters have just died inside Blunt's base. I couldn't quite catch them. Just heard the sound of it. And I like this, bringing the destroyers over now to destroy the wall here. And you can see Strike Mech already being built by Lucky Ashman here, so he's maybe going to get this wall killed off and then he can run his Strike Mechs in here. And probably going to have to force out like a mech destroyer from Russian Blunt here. He's trying to push these destroyers away with his fighters here, but there is an anti-air destroyer boat which is chipping away, and he does have the fighters as well. And Russian Blunt actually just going to call it there. He's not happy with how this game's gone, and yeah, I don't really think he was down and out or anything like that, but yeah. I'm happy with that one. So I'll go into the next game that I got here. I got Ashman on the Rebels in the teal, and Blunt down here as the Wookiees again, but in the yellow this time. And this being Motherlode, they're pretty close to one another for this Motherlode. What? Kind of wide to wall as well. It's not impossible, but there is the sort of added benefit of, if you're this close, if you just wall one side, it means they have to walk so much longer. God, it was nearly completely walled on this side. You have to walk so much further though round to rush. So you could justify put in the extra resources and a bunch of prefabs to wall it. So we've got a Ronto, and we've got berries as well. Oh, 2 Rontos. This one's sort of hiding in here in this little bit. We definitely want to open with the Rontos though. Rontos into carbon processor, then the food processor a little bit later tends to be the better one. We've got Blunt who's opened food processor, and then Ashman who's done both things. I mean, if this guy's just here and then these guys don't carb, you build up your early carbon a bit quicker. And then you could just do this later once you've got your carbon set up. Carbon's quite nice. Nice to have. Nice to have a little pool of it by the time that your early food sources run out, and then you can drop the farms. Especially being rebels as well, with that huge farm bonus that they've got. Ashman going to scout out Blunt here quite early. Just going to know the score, how close they are and stuff. Not a nerf map though. We know Ashman loves to build a mounted trooper, so he's not going to have the prerequisite for that being the animal nursery that you store in the nerf set. So interesting to see what these players decide to do on this Motherlode, this being so close as well. Carbon processor now for version 1 here. It doesn't really look like he's actually got enough workers on berries, and I wonder if he has fallen behind by a worker. Yes. This guy's not even doing his job. It's quite a small pool of berries, and it runs out so quickly. It's actually only like 375 food when there's 3 of them. Right, he's found the Ronto though, that's good. Gonna get tucked into that. Still no carbon processor yet for Lucky Ashman. So close to being able to fish. Just kill a few trees. I'm gonna get the prefab shelter up against the carbon, okay. What's he up to? If he builds it here, this is so cursed. Another prefab shelter. Where's the carbon processor? Okay, I'm gonna build it there. I had this like nightmare scenario in my head that you would build it right next to the prefab shelter. He's stuck right up against the carbon. Just denying like a lot of the efficiency of it. And you can see Blunt going to drop the prefab shelters here. I hope that this is walled here on the left. I don't know if it is. No, that seems so. Oh yeah, it is walled. So it's 6 prefabs. No, it's 7, is it? Yeah, 7 prefab shelters to wall that off. But as I said, you don't really need to wall the other side because it's just such a long journey. Yeah, it's up to Ashman to decide if he wants to A, be a psycho and go through the wall, B, just you know, not have to spend all that carbon to wall, just T3 himself. As long as he keeps an eye on Blunt, make sure he doesn't get like secretly rushed by like deleting the wall. This guy's passing up here in the corner. A lot of more farms here though. Could really use like a second carbon processor when you've got this many workers on carbon as well, just to stop them bumping into one another. Try and aim for like maybe, you know, like 7 or so per carbon processor. It feels about right. Onto the Nova. Blunt having a bit of a rubbish T1 here at the moment. It's just tons of carb and not much food. We're very late getting on to his Ronto. I mean, this one was absolutely hiding here. Seems to have found it though. Once he gets all that food, he should be on sort of even terms, but not really when we consider that rebels are so strong with farms. Ashman's food's going to climb really quickly. Almost at that 500 mark. 500 mark and about 28 workers. Should be good to go for going to T2. Looks like he's just waiting for it. He's off to T2 now. And I see all that food being deposited for Blunt here. He's up to about 500 as well. Just a little bit later. The longer this goes on while the farms, there's going to be a lot more food coming Ashman's way. But the tech lead isn't going to mean too much here with the wall. It seems like Blunt is really insisting on getting things walled here, as he's going to put another 7 houses on this side. And maybe a light wall. Or maybe an 8th house. Big walling. Certainly a nice plot of land though, to build command centers in and stuff. See how Ashman's doing here. He's got his 2 buildings, does favour his Jedi Temple and grabbing up his holocrons. You can see there's technically all 5 have been walled out of Blunt's territory. So Ashman could just get all of them. That would be pretty strong. Get all of them and maybe drop some like knights or something like that. And that'd be pretty cool. Alright, build these in a sort of defensive position. He's got his own sort of wall building up here. The power core, Ashman off to T3. Blunt, on the other hand, not really got enough food as of yet. That rebel bonus really showing through here. I don't think it's just that though. I think Ashman's been like maybe 2 farms ahead as well for a little while, and just over that duration of time, it's paid off. And then it's getting the Padawan out, sending it off, grab up a holocron. Power droid, where's this going? Just for his upgrade, so he's getting his irrigation upgrade. So Ashman going to be playing for his farms a little bit. No, he's running past it. Well, it's done anyway. He's so good. Once his carbon upgrades, I guess. He had it speed up his irrigation upgrade while it walked past. Just true genius player. As he grabs up his first holo. Getting scout harassed here by Blunt, who, you know, quite behind at the moment. You can see his tech level 3 is just a third of the way or so there. Just remember, he's put a lot of carbon into these walls. Like 7, well, 7 and then 8, I think. No, he's left the gap here. So there is actually a gap in between these, I think. The Jedi Temple here for Blunt maybe doesn't want him getting all these holos. It's the airbase and a command center here for Ashman, so he's going to keep his worker production going. I'm just going to see if he did play for some eco upgrades. Yeah, you wanted that T3 carbon upgrade very quickly here. Playing more of an eco-focused game here for Ashman. A little bit atypical for him. He's usually all about that unrelenting aggression. You're going to get a research center. Is he maybe aiming to just do some sort of tech level 4? Or does he have other plans for the research center? I have to keep an eye on this and see what he does with it. could see him maybe... I should maybe get the game time up. I could maybe see him get T4 soonish. Does have the hollows bringing a little bit of Nova in. Yeah, he's got these workers on ore. He could maybe do a bit of spaceport manipulation, I suppose. He's not spending a ton of food, but he is getting to get another command center now as well, so... I wouldn't really think that this... Oh yeah, it is this weird thing. I was just thinking this a little moment ago. That I'd seen these weird instances of him getting a research center to get this upgrade that makes the workers build things faster. And here we are. I don't know what the mad science behind it is, but he seems to be a big fan of it because I've seen this a few times out of him. So he's got his power calibrator upgrade. Maybe it's about getting his command centers up quicker with you know, such few workers on it. Maybe there's some big economic gains from that. I don't know. I am not such a genius in the ways of GBG as the Ashman. More holocrons coming his way. He's getting that agility. I love that. I love to do that myself. Just get the speed while you're getting them. Make them move quicker, bringing them back home. Get them back out in the map quicker, grab them up again. Let's see if Blunt... He did make a temple, but did he make a Jedi? Yeah, he has made one, and it's wandering across. He's going to get one of these holocrons at the very least. There's another one here near his wall, which Ashman could just go and get. I don't know if he's just like not noticed this. Oh, he hasn't. That is just crazy. That tiny little bit near the wall, he's just not scouted. He's so close to it as well. But he has got two, and then a third one on the way, so, you know, that's going to be pretty good for him. A lot of free Nova coming his way. Dropping an anti-air turret, he's just kind of like going for the extreme of just not doing any sort of aggression. He's made a couple of fighters, but he's just sort of keeping them here at home. He's got the scout being annoying, shooting at the Padawan with a holocron. His ideals of having all 5 hollows burning in front of his eyes. And for whatever reason, this scout has forced the creation of 2 mech destroyers here for the player that is Wald's base. I think Blunt being a little bit too ridiculous with his defences. He's got 3 anti-air turrets, and he's kind of just going to fall behind the Ashman here because Ashman's got 3 command centres. And then he's got all these farms placed, so he's getting all this food income to keep making all these workers. And Blunt now racing to get a second command centre up, but we'll have a quick look at the... there's already a 10 worker lead, there's 400 free Nova as well, and Ashman just sort of economically dominating every category, even research and map exploration. I think Blunt just being a little bit too defensive here. He's got his walls, so I don't think he needed to build the mech destroyers at all. Kind of got a box in his mind of what Ashman could do to harass him here, but he's got him doing everything with air and strike mechs and everything like that. And typically there's just never enough of either category to warrant so much defense. I think personally I'd maybe just put this turret here, cut this turret out. Don't need 3 turrets, I don't think. And I don't think you need 2 mech destroyers here. I think these are better just to be in another command center. Got the workers on ore and stuff. It's getting it now, but I feel like it could already exist, right? And you know, for a couple of minutes, you could be pumping out these extra workers and living it up with a much better eco. And then later, switch the gears up to start being aggressive. Puts these mech destroyers towards the gate. But we do have the Knight upgrade here for Ashman. So the 2 Padawans that he's made, Jedi Knights. This worker seems to be trapped. I don't know why he walled his power core, to be honest. I don't think there's really any reason in this matchup to do that. There's some artillery being built early here for Blunt, which is interesting. The War Center here, we're going to get some upgrades for other mechs. Maybe going to get like a little push going. Problem is, these units are really going to do very poorly against these 2 knights. With the knights and the fighters, they could definitely chip away at these when they're in such low numbers. You're going to need something that's going to deal with Jedi. And Ashman is now on his way to T4. Racing towards T4, so maybe going to see some tech level 4 air out of him. Does only have the one air base, but or the 2 air bases here. He's building a third. 3 is usually kind of comfy, just for getting your upgrades and making a couple of fighters and stuff. You don't want to overcommit to it, right? You don't want to make like 50 fighters like you maybe see people doing in like team games and stuff, but just need a handful to go around and just kill off workers, give you map control and stuff like that, and then you can transition into something a little bit better. With being rebels, I find that a remax into like mounted troopers is very strong because it doesn't really require too much upgrades, and the resource allocation is somewhat the same that you set yourself up to build air, being just food and nova. And then later you can bring in the repeater troopers because they need a little bit more upgrades, right? They need the damage upgrades and stuff like that. And then a few of all the range things and stuff, and it takes a while to get through the trooper line as well, from trooper recruit to repeater trooper. And we can see this push has started here from Blunt. It's good to keep put the pressure on him here, but I think the Knights are just going to do really well. There's only one strike mech, and there's not really much damage upgrades for the strike mech. So this is kind of stopping the push getting anything like super good done. He's going to build a shield generator and a power core. The objective really would be pushing Lucky Ashman off of his Nova here. He's actually very well insulated with his building placements. He has, unfortunately though for him, just sort of lost all of his fighters with this push. Because obviously we'd like to see him get, you know, like shields, fast fire. He can absolutely afford all these things. He's a little bit concerned by this push, like he's sort of stun locked a bit. He's not really doing anything with his production buildings for his air. He's got a bunch of Jedi Masters being built, which will do very well here. He's noticed that these units are just not, there's nothing really here that kills Jedi. He's gonna get this fortress up because he's, well, remember he's got his power calibrator upgrade, so this fort is building a lot quicker than it naturally would. Workers jump in there, and the beams are gonna push these units back. Gonna make the shield a little bit useless. You could get a cannon up here, or you know, you could get the upgrade and maybe just convert it. It could be his shield. And Blunt just gonna call GG here. He's unhappy with what's happened there. He sees he's got masters out and stuff, and he feels too far behind. I think he definitely is economically behind. There's all these hollows, and you know, the earlier boom for Lucky, whereas Blunt sort of put out a lot of carbon on these walls, and then these mech destroyers, and then you know, the 3 anti-air turrets, and I don't think it really got attacked by air that much either. But GG, well played. We'll just go into the last game here that I've been given by Ashman. It's another Motherlode game, but you can make it all the way around. And it's looking like a big mounty one here. All these nerfs. Nerfs and some Rontos. It's looking good. A couple of nerfs in the corners. We've got Blunt orange rookies here again. Trade Federation this time for the Ashman. I would say it's one of the weaker civs. Just because of that carbon penalty, and they can't really wall. But Ashman might not care about that because he's so aggressive. He might just like that he's not getting housed and he can just build mounted troopers to his heart's content. Is this worker just scouting? A while since I've seen someone do that. Where's he off to? Looks like he's just making a beeline for Blunt's base. He's up to some activities. It's a dangerous path. A Motherlode, there's many rancors about. Huh? So this worker went here, but when he went about here, then he captured the nerfs. What the hell? Where is he going? This reminds me of that YouTube video about that penguin that just runs off to the mountains. No one knows why. Described as the autistic penguin, but the autistic carbon collector here. Well, he's walking back now. Whoa, early sentry post. Ashman just try to find him really quickly. He just needs to know where he is for his activities. It's like when you send a worker this early towards your opponent, there's got to be some sort of like associated malice with it, you know? So he's building a light wall. See, I just kind of expected this to be like building a light wall around his resources or something like that, or a forward or something. Unfortunate Rancor right here. Well, these nerfs well hidden right up against the carbon cluster. The Rancor having to be clawed down by Russian blunts. Wookiee workers here. And Blunt not really got his carbon processor up yet, because he's dropped this food processor to get on these EOPs. So he's just gone for a really, really heavy food start here. And we see that Ashman not finishing this last bit in the wall here, because he wants to get these nerfs away from this side. And then he'll wall in behind them. He's got his carbon started here, and I really do wonder if he mounties here, because we still don't have a carbon processor yet for Blunt. In fact, he's going to spend a lot of his carbon just walling off. I'm interested in the way that Blunt's been playing in these games, because it's almost like he's playing entirely to what Lucky Ashman does. Almost to the point like he's sort of griefing his early game and his T1s and stuff, because he seems to really value just getting this wall up before he's even got a carbon processor. Power core first. That's strange. It's just all these workers are going to go in carbon now. So he gets himself up to T2. All his workers on food. He's got the nerfs handle thing. It's just going to be like behind in carbon a bit. What is the plan? No troop center. We do have 2 nurseries for Ashman though. He's gotten quite a few nerfs. His hands on a few nerfs. 11. It looks like the scout caught one of those that made the journey from here down to here. Was gunned down by Blunt Scout. So a nursery for 1 nerf is not the best feeling. To be honest, it's the same for 2. You kind of want 4. I would maybe go for 3. I would accept if I had like 10 other nerfs. And a bit scout on scout action here. And second carbon processor for Russian Blunt here. But the food not looking too good at the moment, because we've only got a few workers on this EOP that's about to run out, and then 6 nerfs to power up our eco here. Definitely going to have to be some sort of use to the spaceport, and not been on Nova this entire time as well. If I'm aiming for a T3 there, so the spaceport's going to have to do a lot of work just selling carbon at the moment. Don't know if we're going to build some farms. Getting a temple as well. Temple spaceport. Ashman on the other hand, he has his power core. He's not quite T2 yet. Blunt saying that the map's RNG is ridiculous. Even Ashman knows where they are. And he's pinged them to him. That's an honourable chap there. He says he stole 2 from there. I do think this is just like an 8 nerf map though, and there's like nerfs in the corners. And Blunt's like got 2 hidden over here as well. Nope, there's 3 from the corner spawn. That's going to make Ashman feel better about his one nerf in a nursery. As he drops a mech factory here. And he's got a few farms down, so he should get to that 800 food soon enough. Blunt, on the other hand, he has 5 workers queued, which is a little bit of food, but still... He's only really on about 300 food or so. Let's get the temple up. I wonder if he's maybe going to try and grab the hollows first and then tech. Still tons of workers, like 500 carbon. At some point you kind of just got to bite the bullet and pull some workers off of carbon and build some farms with them. Looks like there's a sentry post attempted here by the Ashman, but this Rancor smelt him and got some blood here. And he's now going to go for Russian Blunt's worker, who's going out this way maybe to build a wall. I think he should win this fight with the Rancor though. It's not got too much health left. Ashman again, Sith Temple, he loves to get those holocrons. Looks like he's about to push the button up to tech level 3. There's one hollow very close here. 2. See how much he's scouted. He's not got that one. This is about 3 or 4 of them. Pretty good. Oh, you're going to find those 2 nerfs as well. That's banging for him here. So Ashman now going to be up to 16 nerf versus 8. Which is a huge lead. He's got double the nerf count. Russian has managed to like wall the Rancor out from him. I think he wins the trade with it though. He's kind of just denying himself a worker. Huh? Could be annoying and like go through the light wall, like melee bash it, and then start building sentry posts or something around Ashman's base. That's what I guess what would be my next move here. Yeah. Ashman's probably going to shoot with the scout though. What a meta, I like it. Peak GBG right here. Rancor forced to watch. Can't get involved. Keeps trying, keeps trying. For some reason doesn't reset and attack the buildings. And first holocron grabbed up here for the Ashman. Get it into the temple there. Start getting that passive Nova from it. 45 per game minute. And an air base here. And I've got Blunt, who's not quite T3 yet, but he's got a nice bank of carbon that you can throw down double air base or a couple of command centers, whatever the hell he wants here. And he got started on the ore. He's going to get a gate on this side, so he's going to play through this side, it would seem. Ashman's side of the map's going to be very open, being Trade Federation. This little wall has just been bashed down. But this scout has gotten this worker down to about 13 HP. And the Rancor just like, for whatever reason, did it like see that it could get to him from this path, and then it decided that that's just too far, or it lost like, because it lost vision of him, it reset itself. Interesting the way their pathfinding works. What is this? It just leaves him on 1 health. The Rancors will finish you off. A couple of strikes, and I don't know if there's any fighters built as of yet. There's 1 popping out. Oh, he sent the fighter to go and finish off the worker. Now just sitting at the wall. I think it would have been better out here putting some pressure on, but maybe he knows Blunt too well that as soon as he gets T3 he's just dropped like 2 or 3 turrets, which he has. Do at least see early command centers here, which is nice. That's what he lacked in the last game that we just watched. And it's lucky this time, only the 2 CCs, but he's building up, you know, a few strikes, a couple of scout, maybe an accident building a second scout because he's still got his first one. There's definitely opportunities to harass with the fighters. He could be denying the space for one. Blunt hasn't actually got any air out as of yet. Does drop 2 air bases now though. So he have his own standing air force. He maybe just wants this fighter to stop shooting at him, because he's going to be getting like an alert every few seconds that he's being attacked. Ashman up to 2 holocrons in his temple. Wonder if we're going to see another CC. Yes, we are. Quite the harassment force building up here for Ashman. Few strikes, few fighters. Problem is he's just not able to get into the base here. Oh, look at that gap in between the farms and the CC. Shocking. Unplayable. Oh, double gap. Such nonsense. Got the turret coming down here on the command center. Yeah, it kind of just looks like both players are going to boom a little bit. We'd like to see all these units push out though for Ashman. He's going to do some scouting with his fighters here. I wonder if Blunt's just hiding all of his in his air bases. Yeah, he likes to do this. 11 or 12 or so there, so he's got double the count of Ashman. And Ashman could, you know, walk too far forward, maybe sit towards the air bases and get trapped by these. There's a transport, which I'm not sure what the transport's for. Oh, he's going to build up a pummel drop here. He's got a heavy weapons factory. He's already got 2 pummels hidden in there as well. So that's going to be his big play here. And it'll certainly have a good chance of working out if he manages to kill off all these fighters. Take control, get his pummel across. About quite a few strike mechs at home. There's a research centre, must be getting his power calibrator soon. Anyway, loves that build speed on the workers. And all the fighters have been exited out and they're going to collide here with Lucky Ashman's patrol. He gets an okay-ish trade. I think he killed about 3 or 4. 3 or 4 for about his 5 or 6. He does have anti-air turrets though. He's actually got quite... We've got 3 here. You would think this is Russian Blunt's base rather than Lucky Ashman's. But maybe not with the research centre. There's a few strikes here. They don't have upgrades, but it's a decent little bit of damage. And all the fighters are actually dying off here. They just like ran into turrets and all died. And with it only being 3 pummels, and I'll tell you what, unupgraded strike mechs actually do a lot more damage than I thought they would to these pummels. And with a Padawan now as well, this not really, all he needs to do is repair it, and then it's just not really done any damage at all, while investing so much. Like there's a lot of fighters to go down, the pummels, the transport, a lot of carbon and stuff. He's upgraded this Padawans to knights. But again, all those strike mechs that are just sitting waiting there. So secretly, like, big brain from Ashman here. There's still 1 knight for him to deal with, but you know, he's super prepared for this. He's only really lost a couple of workers and, you know, his initial heir that was sitting out here, but that was always going to die, given the nature of what was going on. And we're going to see another anti-air turret here for Blunt. Doesn't want to be outdone by Ashman here with his 3. Ashman off to T4 now. Rebuilding some of his farms, going to get a war center for those desperately needed war center upgrades on the strike mechs. And yeah, I'm not sure what he's going to do here in T4, being Trade Federation. He's got a big worker lead though, like 20 workers. A couple of troop centers being dropped here by Russian. Power core, wonder what he's wanting to do with these. These do have great traits, just there's a lot of upgrades to get. Kind of want like a really good eco for doing all that. The research center 2 here for Blunt, who's on his way to T4. Maybe he's going to go for like T4 air. Ashman a little bit ahead though in the T4 time. Another turret. Calm down. Oh man. Actually, kind of opportunities to get some cruisers out on Motherlode, like unironically. We could shipyard and a couple of cruisers out here, some anti-air boats or something. And that'd be pretty cool. TF of that good navy. But this fighter's still here this entire game, shooting at this prefab shelter. I hope he's not getting alerts for that. It'd be so annoying. Yeah, Ashman's Nova, man. 3k. What's he gonna do all this? Assault mechs. Hold on, I need to double check. Yo. Where's the power calibrator? You mean you just built this research center for just T4? Ridiculous. Yeah, it looks like this worker's gonna get beaten to death by the Rancor here. What was the last one? Like 41 health it survives on? .42. Rancors are the meaning of life. Where's the action? All these strikes just waiting at home. We've got double war center. We're getting his +2 armors, +2 range. Oh, it's crazy to think this is just one mech factory. It's been building all these off of. Fighter's running around here for Blunt. He is T4 now. It looks like he's built. Nope. Not getting any upgrades for them. What is he up to? He's getting all his trooper ones. So playing towards the repeater troopers, the wiki ones. Level 2 range sensor array. Maybe a little bit of a waste of resources just now. CC gonna secure up that Nova here, which is nice. Ashman doing a little bit of patrol in here with his strikes. He's maybe gonna kill the sensor post off. It's got a CC to it. There's so many bloody Rancors just being another one. 35 though, not 42. It looks like he did kill that fighter off. It's getting really annoying. All quiet out here on the Motherlode front. A couple of heavy weapons factories, but like in base. Not really like a forward. I find it ridiculous Blunt's managing, like, with all these strike mechs that Lucky Ashman's got, that Blunt's actually going to go and manage to wall this off with prefab shelters. Just further buying him time here. I'm not sure what his like plan is though. Just like troopers are just not going to work into like a heavy, like, you know, like big HP strike civ. You know, if Ashman does get those upgrades. Mechanics, anti-air mobiles. So I'm assuming Ashman's going to push up the map with some strike mechs, some anti-air mobiles and stuff. Oh my god, this is getting started. How long does this game go? It's not too much longer, just have to go and embed it. For some reason the client started to stutter as of late, and I'm not sure. I don't really sure what's changed lately. It just seems to be happening a lot quicker than it used to. Could just be because I'm using my expanding fronts configurator version of the game rather than the Voobly one just now, but it's a little bit annoying. You'll see the frames jump just a little bit. It's a little bit awkward. Unfortunately, the only like solution to that is like closing the game down and reopening it, getting back to this point. But the strikes are moving up here, and got a few damage upgrades to the kill off sensor post kind of quickly. Doesn't really seem to have any sort of armor by the looks of it. And some Mech Destroyers as well. I would say Ashman been a lot better with his War Center upgrades than he used to be. I do think he's still getting his armor first though. The big armor fan. Couple of heavy Mech Destroyers, Wookiee heavy Mech Destroyers, eh? Colliding with this force out in the map, but a lot more upgrades for Ashman and a lot more mechs too for Ashman here. And these are just going to die very quickly. Ashman did get all the upgrades for like anti-air mobiles, but has he built any? There has one. I suppose one will do. The current state there. He's got some workers running over here, gonna get another sentry post. Like to see him get like a fortress down, a bit of a forward, and just start building units there and there. Or then and there. And throwing them out towards Blunt here. Get a cannon out and start sieging this side. Looks like Blunt's going to get an opportunity to actually get a shield generator down, which is going to make his mechs do a lot better against this force. Just giving them all that extra HP. But at the same time, he's sort of planning to push the other side of the map. He's got some artillery thrown out here. I guess it was always his intention in the first place. Just he was doing this, but then Ashman's started coming this way. So if you can hold him with this force, that'd be great for him, and then you can really put some pressure on Ashman here. But Ashman very quick to get a fortress down here. And some troop centers, so I wonder if he's just going to make some mounties on this side and just try and wipe this army. We did see a lot of trooper upgrades getting done for Blunt, but there's not really any troopers out. If he made a couple of troop centers and threw a few repeater troopers with this army, that'd be really good. It would keep them safe against the mounties, and this works really well as like unit composition, like artillery, repeater trooper. You can have his MDs here. You could throw a few grenadiers down this way as well. I think it'd just be really nice to just have a fortress here, though. You could throw troopers into it, get all the extra beams and stuff, and stall hard on that side. But Ashman, absolutely quick to get this fortress up, shield generator, troop centers and stuff before Russians really gotten it together to push this side. See the artillery walking forward. Still on the +1 range at the moment. It can get up to +2 with those artillery that make them so oppressive for the Wookiees. A crazy range. And once again, Lucky is being attacked by a Rancor. All that light wall being killed off. Cannon as well. Very anti-building here for this top side of the map. Assault mech joining in here, which is gonna be us. I don't know if he's gonna survive this flank maneuver here. He's throwing the strike mechs in first. The MDs, it'd be nice to have them coming up here. You sort of run up really close here and messed with the AI a little bit, the Mech Destroyers, but there's just not enough Mech Destroyers to hold this push at the moment. Even with the shield generator, I think. Ashman is going to get his own shield generator. He's actually just putting troopers into the fortress here, but unfortunately well, it would be outranged if he had +2 range, but it's not. You can see the fortress actually shredding these artillery. Yeah, it's got a few. It's got this +4 damage. It doesn't have his armor yet for Wookiees. That's the one of the things that make them really good. And it doesn't have the HP upgrade, but the DPS and the range is there. So when these repeaters, not repeaters, these mounties come his way, if they even need to. Looking at this fortress is tearing apart all these artillery. Then on the other side of things, it looks like Blunt has lost his mech destroyers here at the shield generator, but he is building up his own mounties. But you've got to remember there's a lot of heavy strike mechs here with the army. And Ashman throwing out a few of these mounties onto the artillery. The troopers have walked a little bit too far forward and sort of been gunned down here. There's an assault mech as well, which is going to do really well against this army, especially now that it's lower numbers. The artillery can't really just sort of focus fire it with a second assault mech joining now, and then the troops are now surging out and everything going towards Blunt's army here. Nothing really happening on the other side of things. But 3 assault mechs now. Ashman putting all that Nova that he's built up from his holocrons and all the Nova piles he's been eating all game into these assault mechs, and they are just tearing apart this force. The Mounties are going to get on top of them though. Have to rely on the fortress to gun these down a little bit and some of the damage from the assault mechs. They've got a huge health pool though, so even with them hitting each other, they are still standing. There's just not quite enough DPS to just finish these guys off. And you can see those Mounties trying to get into range there, only 2 managed. One does die to sort of a friendly fire, but again, this shield generator is not looking long for this world with a cannon now hitting it as well. Huge amount of Mounties though waiting for Ashman on this side, but he's not really pushing too much. He's actually just pushing on the side where he's just wiped that army. 4 assault mechs, bunch of Mounties. But still, you've got a +2 range now for Blunt. A lot of artillery here. He kind of just lacks like a defensive shield, I think. I wonder if he's maybe going to go for a sortie on this side, try and push this side after wiping this army. Could be a good opportunity too. I wonder what's going to happen. I'm just sitting here drinking my coffee. Nothing happened. Now we go Blunt, pushing up. As I said, he's got that +2 range now. Doesn't really have anything to protect. We've got a couple of repeaters back here, but they're a little bit far away. The Mounties getting in here. Going for some damage. Gonna have to be the defensive Mounties against the Mounties. Blunt does have the better Mountie upgrades though. Blunt's got a huge army here. Looks like he's just going to go for it. Killing off the rocks here to give himself some more space. I'm pretty sure there's only like 3 minutes left in this game though, so I can't really see any person losing right now. So what's either A happened, or has Ashman just sent me like a game that they never continued recording or something? Blunt pushing on this side, throwing his Mounties in. As I said, there's a lot of strike mechs here. The assault mechs with crazy damage as well, and then shield generator, so I think this push is not going to work out too well. Oh, and AC. AC is going to be disaster for this army. You can see they do outrange the fortress here. Oh, he shoots his own units though with the air cruiser. The assault mechs are getting some really nice shots off though while he's killing off this fortress. A lot of the Mounties are dying. The AC's coming forward though for its second shot. While it's being shot by a fighter. Is it going to get a big connection? It kills off the troopers, so he can get his Mounties on top. Some big brain stuff. Does lose the AC though. A lot of artillery dying, and the assault mechs are still just smashing through here, but the problem is on this side he's actually getting pushed, so forget what I said. It looks like Ashman, you know, in that small amount of time has sort of won both sides here. Because there's nothing to stop this army on the left hand side in Russian Blunt's base. And this didn't even feel like a victory on this side for Blunt because of just, you know, how much losses he suffered. So well played from Ashman there. He's really turned things around and wiped that army. The air cruiser just proving huge, being able to kill off all those troops. But yeah, that's all I've got for today. That's what I've been sent by the Ashman there. So some good games and well played to both players. Entertaining stuff there. And if you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Like the video, leave a comment. It does help the channel out, it helps it grow. If you want to support me in another way, you can find a PayPal link down below. You can help me by buying me a coffee. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.